So I think this is it. I think you and I don't want to say this in certain
Give it to
people
me, man. Give it to me.
like, and it, so for the longest time, and this can sound bad that I'm putting it out here. It actually scares me. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this is a dick thing to say. He's being a douche," and so I don't want to like. And now just like set me up for it.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is up? Welcome to the Grow Show. My name is Josh Lewis. I am here tonight with Cunningham.com. And yeah, inspire others always. Jeff's message. Today we are talking about how not changing can hurt you and why change is important. And let's just start it right off. Why are we talking about this topic tonight?
Because someone that means a lot to me, and there's a lot of people said something to me that made me really want to change. It made me really. The one thing that I have changed about so far in life is being self-aware of when someone's saying something, I go to fight it on them. It's kind of funny. We talked about this in our past one of emotions. I actually would now, even though emotions that I'm working on, when someone says something to me, I go to fight it and debate it like I always do. Excuse me, Corona. Not funny. People do that all the time. It's like a running joke. It's so sad. But anyway, I go outside my body and I look at, okay, why do I want to fight this? What is it telling me? And then what I do actually is I think, okay, like, don't fight it. What if they're right? I also think, who are they? How do I want to be where they are? Do I value their opinion? Right? These are all things that go through my mind. And then when I realize, yes, then all of a sudden, then it hits my heart, hurts, and thinks, wow, if they're saying this is true, then I really messed up. So our previous episode about failure, I really messed up. I was insincere. I was very unempathetic, and I kind of came off looking like a douche. So I apologize for that, and I don't want to do that ever again. So
Yeah, I appreciate your apology. I want to go on the record for saying I don't think you really did. I mean, maybe we can take a vote on it, but no, I really don't think you did, man. I think what we were talking about is something that I in that episode, I talked for like 20 minutes straight and you were quiet and you listened to me. So for me to actually have that happen and have somebody listen to me was very supportive. So I appreciate that. And I think you and I are very results driven anyway, which can kind of seem like it's almost not, especially with us, we're brothers, so we know each other inside and out. It almost seems like it's not empathetic. But I think I think you and I just wanted, for me, especially speaking for myself, I wanted to solve the issue right away. So I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you wanting to change. At the same time, I really didn't take any offense to it. You're my brother. I love you. I'm gonna love you no matter what. It's just I think sometimes on the outside, it might be able to look something like maybe you weren't being supportive. I get how your mind works too, man. I mean, my mind works like crazy in all different scenarios. I'm always going towards the next thing. I always have to go towards the next thing. And if I'm not going towards the next thing, I mean, I feel like I'm going crazy. So if I can't solve a problem, if I can't go towards the next thing, I'll feel lost, and I think that's kind of what similar was for you too as well. But let's get back into change and why not changing can hurt you. And I think what would be good is if we talk about an area in our lives where we didn't change and how that hurt us. Does that sound something that would be feasible to you, or do you think that would not be valuable?
well, yeah, because here's the thing: to kind of play devil's advocate, what you say, and I like that you said that. What if I am? And here's the thing: the person, Leslie, Leslie, she brought out to me, and I probably shouldn't. But maybe we'll talk about that too. Maybe I'll change something because we'll tease off something. I'm gonna have a list about what I'm looking for in a woman. I finally decided I'm gonna make a list. My whole life I said I wasn't going to, and attracted disasters purposely, I think. So I want to attract something better. So I'm going to make a list. We'll talk a little bit of that later. But I think she pointed out, basically kind of told me what I've been through my whole life, what I've seen, what I've been trying to fight against, where I need to be the center of attention, where I put people down so I'm ahead. And she said when you brought up July 3rd, I just, being mom's death and, the whole thing, I just kind of and I'm doing it right now, skated past it because, like, I don't think I ever processed mom's death a lot, right? As much as to you, Jay's more. And anyway, and it was just such a sad thing to see that episode. And that was the first time we talked since then, right? Like we kind of had a few texts. It was the first time on there. And I didn't cry because of you. So I think I put on a defense mechanism. Maybe I'm defending myself now, but that's why I think it maybe if anybody sees me coming off kind of like as you are kind of doing that. And I was actually so proud of you by you doing stuff. So I just want to apologize. I don't want to ever be someone who's putting anybody down, ever, especially you. And I do think because me and you are brothers, I think maybe I'm more liable to be myself in a bad way, and I want to change from being that version of myself. I don't want to be anymore.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes I can be cold to you, and I think a lot of it's because you're my brother, and I just feel like I don't know why you don't get this, and I kind of have to reflect.
What's one thing that like I don't get that I should just get?
Well,
like, I want to change.
Let's say, for instance,
I want to change something like right now that's like that I want to change. Or maybe I don't have to be the center of attention anymore. I don't know if I want to change that. Like, I feel like that's good for being an entrepreneur. I wouldn't be.
Okay, so listen, I'll sometimes, the way I approach an employee, the way I approach a team member, I'll approach them different than how I approach you because you're my brother and like I just want you to get it. So, for instance, if like we're at a family gathering, right, and you're on your phone or you're talking about something or doing whatever it is, and I say, hey, it's important to hang out with your family, and then you'll fight that and explain why it's not important or why you don't think it's important, I can be rude there and be like, I'll just flat out, say you're being rude, whatever it was, and we'll get into an argument or something like that, and it'll be a difference in beliefs, and I think for me, I think I got to realize that sometimes, you and I are two different people. We've gone through different experiences all this while the same, but what that means is even if we've gone through different experiences, or the same experiences, we've experienced them differently by how we perceive them. And what I mean by that is we all perceive something different. We see the same thing, but we perceive it to be differently because of our experiences and what our beliefs are. So I get that. And I think really, changing and the impact of not changing is really stagnation. And, Grant Cardone says that gravity pulls a flat line down. And it's very true, especially when it comes to changing and developing yourself. If you're always, running at the same level and saying, I'm good, or I know. And that's one of the things that, it's so weird. I was not in the habit of saying, I know. And then once I realized, once I got into my latest location for my management position, people were telling me things that like I already knew, like almost like talking down to me. And I got in the habit of saying, yeah, I know. Like, why are you telling me that? And it became like a defense mechanism. Like, because after I learned later on, the people were being more insecure and they were just saying stuff like that so they could just, kind of tear me down to another level. But anyway, me saying, yeah, I know. I remember you and I had that conversation, like how you would say, yeah, I know. And I would say,
I say it all the time when I play football.
All the time. And I would say, switch it to, you're right.
You're
right? Yep. So it's in an automatic agreement thing. And which is what I started to do at work too as well. Although when it comes to somebody bullying you or being passive aggressive, if they're trying to tell you something and you say, you're right, they can use that as a way to like lord it over you, right? And say, yeah, of course I'm right. Can't believe you're my boss and you don't know this stuff. So I would have to like just approach the situation differently. And anyway, by me saying all that, I got in the habit of saying I know. And that to me is a huge red flag. And the new business that you and I are just starting right now, one of the things I've learned is that I know nothing about this. And me being in that habit of saying I know could devastate me. It could hurt me. Because if I say I know when I don't know, I'm never going to learn. So I think I know.
Well, the one thing with the new business that you're starting, the whole where we're really going to be changing lives financially for people, we're challenging them to change their beliefs that they have. Like when we sit down and present them something, we're presenting something totally that they don't know, And
correct. Yes.
And it's funny to see the light bulb go off. Like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, I don't know that. And that's kind of the same thing. Even when I'm working for JC Tenati and I'm doing window sales, right? Or even when I'm coaching somebody, yeah, a lot of times I'm challenging them. Okay, this is where you're at. This is what you need to do. That's why hearing it from somebody else, it's good to always have a coach. Hearing it from maybe a girl you like, man, that's always the worst, I think, Because
Right,
Jackie was the one who got me to change and really realized I wasn't all that way back when. I mean, you were saying it all the time, and I knew you were right, but I would lie to myself back then, Now I don't lie to myself. Now, dude, I am changed. You know what I mean? Now I'm Conor McGregor, but I'm always going to change, man. I'm always going to be self-aware and change and become better.
I'm with you 100%. So let's make this a little bit fun for the viewer. I'm going to mention two things. We'll make it simple. Two things that I think I need to change. And then you mention two things about me that you think I need to change. And then we'll do the same with you. Does that sound good to you?
That's good. I just ended the Instagram live. Sylvia was just watching it probably from there, and everybody else, the girl from kind of got me on this. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I keep forgetting we're live.
This guy.
I was just posting it. Should I post this one on Instagram live story to get more feed? We were just going there.
Yeah, listen, you do what you want, man. You don't need my permission to do that. So two things I'm going to reflect on, two things I need to change, and then you give me two things I think I need to change, and then you do the same for you. Okay, cool. I'm just going to start.
Go ahead.
Okay, two things I need to change. Number one,
this is fun.
Yeah. Number one, I need to, despite it, let the viewer have fun. Number one, I need to talk to more people. I need to get over my fear of talking to new people. I guess it's not. I guess call it being shy. I don't identify as a shy person because I'm very open and I'll talk to anybody, but I need to get better at starting new conversations with random people. Because especially in our business, I need to be open to being able to do that. So number one, I know that.
Strangers have your money in any business. Anybody who's in a business thing, you need to kind of like an ad goes to strangers. You know what I mean? So
right, exactly. Who's Sylvia?
Oh, she jumped in. That's the girl, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna admit that's cool to admit.
Yeah, it's because I put the live on Instagram and I put it in the green. Yeah, admit it. That's fine.
All right. So the second thing that I need to do is, let's see.
You're the host, right?
Yeah.
This could be my wedding day here.
Okay, so then the first thing that I need to do is I need to be able to be better at starting conversations with other people. The second thing I need to be able to do to get better at, I know I need to change and get better at, is stop making excuses. I make a lot of excuses and I hate it. I've noticed how many excuses I've made, and like I give myself ways out. Stop giving myself ways out. I give myself way out while I work 70 hours at my other job. So what? Good. Go work more at my other job. So I need to stop making excuses for myself, and then I need to be able to start having conversations with new people. What about you? What do you think? What do you think are the two things that I need to change, and then we'll do you.
No, because they keep. I should say the two things I do, and then we'll do it that way, right?
Okay. Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Instead it's like all on you and that. So I think the two things I need to change is I need to you know what? I probably need to listen more than I think I already am listening. I've become a better listener. Maybe, I don't know if I have. I was made aware of tonight that I should repeat. And when I coach, I listen. I think a lot of times because I'm such a talking head right now and I get paid and do YouTube channels, people always this time say, Jeff, you talk, all the time. And I've actually put less out there. But I do think listening to books more. I kind of stopped listening to books and I got more into the news when the whole George Floyd thing happened, and Dad said I wouldn't change the black and white thing, and I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. So I researched that and realized how crazy political it is actually, and that's going to be a lot tougher to do, but I'll do it. Or at least I'll try. So maybe less news, more books, because I was in a better mindset. That I was feeding my mind better stuff, and I was getting more negative, with all the Giselle Maxwell. I just got in the news fed, and I couldn't turn it off. It was almost like,
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And then Corona, and it just got me negative. So I think that would be the first thing to change, because that's affected my whole psyche. And then I wanted to know if they passed the law for cops, and 100%. I definitely will be an activist about that at the time, but really until I build myself up first, right? It was doing more damage to myself because I felt like I didn't have as much control as I could right then, right?
Right.
So that would be definitely one of the things to change. Listen to more good stuff, put more good stuff in my head. And then I think the second thing to change would really actually be my my healthy diet right now, because I'm eating ice cream right now, Ed Milet style, which is funny. And you know what? As I say that, is yes, healthy diet, right? I do. It's funny. I had a smoothie this morning. We're out of the smoothie stuff. By the way, the store, Health Over Wealth, they now make smoothie packets in the freezer. So easy. They have a Dole makes them. You just toss them in there. They're awesome to make. And
I know. I got one.
Yeah. Which is crazy, dude, because remember they didn't have that when we started, right?
Yeah, agreed.
They caught on to us. So, which if you guys want to know more about Health or Wealth, just DM me on Jeff the Entrepreneur. You can see the diet I'm going to be starting and not doing that. But maybe this is the change. I look for similarities in people, like Grant Cardone, right? He's a best seller, not a best speller, right?
Right.
So I use that as the excuse to say, well, I don't need to be a best speller. I just need to sell. So when I was getting, when Leslie Sylvia was saying saying that, oh, I spelled testimonies wrong and changing life testimonies, I wanted to combat and people paid $350 for a session. So, I don't care if I spell testimonies wrong because they're paying me. You know what I mean? Which is that's not the right attitude to have, So I think I aligned with the Grant Cardone and it just, that's got to, and I kind of woke up on that. And so that's probably more than the health thing. The health is easy. You're always going to change your health. You're going to have good days in health. The health is stupid, man. You know what I mean? We're always going to eat good, and then we're going to relax, I think that's it. Don't look to role models that have too many of my weaknesses. You know what I mean? Look for more that have my strengths.
Yeah,
Grant. I love Grant. Grant's awesome. I always like Grant. I think he's the most entertaining one there is. But one thing she said, and we should probably talk about this too, is that you're so cool, calm, and collected. And I'm so me. I'm entertaining, I'm energetic.
Who said this?
The Leslie girl. And I actually I blocked saying yeah, don't call him hot because I get mad when that happens. And then she called me and was just you always compete with your brother. Is it a competition thing? And I would like to think, I don't think it is as much as it's been, but maybe I do have certain things like that. I don't know. What do you think on that?
I think brothers are always going to have natural things we compete at. So for instance, I got a lot of great things going for me, right? But at the same time, there's certain things that you're doing that I would love to be able to do, So naturally, I'm a little competitive. I want to get there, You're at 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Of course, I want to get there,
Subscribe to this channel right now. That'll help, right?
That's right.
You got to support. You got to put these on my channel as well, too.
Right. So
if you're on my channel listening to this, go subscribe to Josh Lewis Growth. You always got to give a call to action. That's advertising.
Yes, appreciate that. I think that's a natural part of life. I think I think it's unhealthy if you make it become the sole focus. So it's okay if it pops up every now and a while, but so the two things, what do you think the two things are that you you think I need to change?
I
And then
almost
I'll
want to
give.
hear mine first because I
I
feel like,
know, I know.
yeah. So
That's how I wanted to hear mine first. So why don't you give me mine first? Because I
okay.
wanted to hear them, and I'd wait for you.
So I think this is it. I think you and I don't want to say this in certain
Just
people.
give it to me, man. Give it to me.
Like, so for the longest time, and this can sound bad that I'm putting out here. It actually scares me because someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this is a dick thing to say. He's being a douche," and so I don't want to like. Now just like set me up for it. Now it's like it hate me. So this is said with love, all right. And actually, Leslie did this to me too before. She knows me so well that she actually, hey, I want to tell you this thing. I don't want to get mad.
That's
Like
awesome.
to your brother. Yeah, it was actually really awesome. Like she's really just trying to wife me up, you know. But I mean, who isn't? Those are probably lines I shouldn't say. But anyway, back to that. What was I gonna say? That's the joke, by the way. So just there's some people that have the information you have that are right around you, and it's okay to learn from them instead of go and learn from like other people. Kind of. That makes sense.
So you're saying I should learn from you instead of learning from other people? Which
is ironic because on the growth show I learned more from you. But like I like how to talk to people and strangers, or like one thing that kind of made me upset, like Yaya, of course, and I love Yaya. Like I know we did one coaching session when I showed you the thing. Like you, my brother, and I know it sounds weird that I'm doing a coaching session with you, but I can show you exactly what I did. Like I kind of did it in text, but give you the blueprint like I do other people, and you could have. Anybody can do it. I do it from Instagram. I do it LinkedIn, Facebook, right? And anybody can do this part. And it's very much you have it too. And I feel like you're going to do exactly what Yaya said. I'm like, yeah, but that's everything I have. I told someone else, and I know offense to Yaya, but you can play that course, or I could show you everything in like one little session, you know? And
okay, go ahead. What's the second thing?
So the second thing, and this might be harder for you to do, and I think this is your strength, so I don't think change it, because I need maybe more of this, although I've gotten more of it now, is you're so certainty driven that you won't leap without looking sometimes. Like you have to look both ways before you leap. And I think sometimes you'd be surprised because you're so certainty driven and you're so smart. Someone said this, I heard it on one of the videos. I thought the guy who stays in school longer, college, it is less, they know too much, like when they're theologically they know too much, that they don't take action because they know what everything is, right? So because you've read so much and stuff and you are very more well polished, you actually will look way more before leaving. I think you have much more success if you just leap and don't look around as much. Like just go with your kind of gut sometimes. Like when I bought the software company, I was coming out of Anthony Jack's. I thought it was 19 grand to buy the software. I said yes to 19 grand to buy the software to be a white label of Take-Two Social. And before I said it, dude, I got this pit in my stomach, like, oh my God, I don't think I should do this, that. I said, nope, you want 77 million, software's the way. I don't even know, I never researched software. And I said, 19 grand is nothing to 77 million. And I said, yes. And then he goes, oh, it's 1900 or whatever, 1,997. Oh, this guy's just trying to bait and switch and sell me, you know? But it worked out pretty well.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
But what are the two things you think that change about me?
I'm going to get into that in a second. And, because I think everybody, once you hear the things that other people want to change about you, your initial reaction is to either fight it or explain it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Explain it.
So your first, we'll say that again.
I said, explain it or fight it. It's more fun.
Yeah, so I'm not going to fight it. I will say the first thing, what was the first thing that you said I needed to change?
No, you can just learn from more people that have
learn from the people right next to you instead of going to learn from somebody else. Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I think a lot of it, when it comes to things like that, I'm certainty driven. So if somebody offers me something that has to do with like, see, you and I are the opposite when it comes to things like that. You're not certainty driven, where I am certainty driven. So if somebody says to me like, for instance, logic buyer and emotional buyer, right? I'm a logic buyer, you're an emotional buyer. You'll buy based on emotion, I'll buy based on logic. If somebody puts a bullet plan in front of me, I can go, "Ooh, I like that," and it's attractive to me. So I can jive with that. So if somebody, that's why I think a lot of things is like how you market things. It has to be marketed both ways for emotional buyers and logic buyers. So I'll buy based on logic. So if somebody has like a script or something, an actionable plan that I can take and I can use and I can feel certain about it, I'll go after that. But
Well,
I'm with you on
there's
that.
a thing in sales, and instead of so black and white, and I could be wrong, but this is what I've always been coached, that people buy with emotion, they justify with logic. Every time there's an emotion thing when they buy. But you're saying that's impossible, like some people just buy with just logic?
Well, the sales game a lot better than I do. So I'm gonna have to look into that. And
No,
not look
I
into
don't
it,
know.
but I would say, yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's what I learned.
I want to outsource anybody in kind of our new thing, but let me put it this way: when we're going through, and I'll go, maybe we'll tease up a little slide of how the money can grow with everything then, and what we're doing for presentations. But if you go through logic and make sure, hey, this is how your money grows for, and you do the whole logic thing, right, all the way through, and it just makes logical sense to put your money in here. If you have $500 or anything, instead of putting your bank account, put it in here, it makes more sense. You're gonna make more money. But you never build the emotion, it'll make logical sense. It'll be, people want to like really like go with it, right?
Okay, so
emotion into
I'm
it.
not saying it's either or. I'm seeing, and I think you and I are both saying the same thing. It's maybe we're just tired. It's both, right? So Sean, our friend Sean, if you watch this, he's going to be a logic buyer, right? He needs the facts. He needs statistics, right? He's going to need them. If you just sold with Sean through emotion, you'd be like, that guy's an idiot, But if you showed him,
right? Okay, go ahead.
but if you showed him all the logic and then you tied in the emotion with it, absolutely. But if you just showed him all emotion, he wouldn't buy. He would need the statistics. He would need the logic. He would need all those things. He's gonna ask for it. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
No,
You need
I totally understand that, but so do I though too. Like, yes, 100%. I picked Max, my furnace guy, for that. But I had to know he had the furnace. I had to know it was high efficiency furnace. Like, I'm not just buying. Oh, Max is just a great fluffy guy. Like, I buy with logic too. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing. I think you do have to have both. I think maybe what pulls the string more than me is like between if Max and a guy, and I connect more with Max because he has his dream and wants to go to a boat. I'm going to buy more because I want to buy into his dream. But I think maybe that's not for me. Where if the other guy was just made more and had more certifications or whatever, and it's more a logic buy, I wouldn't buy with that. But maybe Sean would, right? Kind of in that thing is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you know what, dude, you're in the spirit of change. You're much better at sales than I am. So I'll listen to you 100%, and that's the first thing I'll change. The first thing you mentioned, to listen to the person that's right next to you. And then what was the second thing that you said?
But dude, I listen to you all the time. I learn from you. Like I don't think, and no, when I was younger, you would say stuff and I would fight it and do that. Now I really listen, and whatever you say, I treat it as gold. I know you know a lot.
Oh, I know what the second thing you said. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
thank you. I appreciate you saying those nice things. I know what I need to fix that. You're saying I need to jump more. I'm so certainty driven. And I'll tell you why. The reason why we do things, the reason why you've done things is simple. It's the reason why all human beings do things. I'm going to explain this for anybody who's watching right now. The reason why you do anything in life is because you've attached a feeling of certainty to an outcome, to a situation. And I'm not saying being certainty driven has to do anything with this. Let me explain. You have different frame of references. So for how uncertainty driven you are, it doesn't matter if it's uncertainty or certainty. You have frames of references that you have built up that have said yes to your success, meaning you attach a feeling of excitement or a feeling of not only certainty in your uncertainty during these times when you've jumped, you've leaped before looking, right? So if you've done this 20 times out of your life, right, and 15 worked well for you, but 5 didn't, you have a frame of reference now that says 15 worked, but 5 didn't. But if I did that 3 times and I got hurt all those 3 times of leaping before looking. So for instance, I did a leaping before looking thing just last week. And it hurt. And so what does that tell me? It tells me my result was it didn't work. I need to leap. I need to look before I leap. So what my test. So what I'm talking about is in order to fix that, I know what I need to fix that. I need to fail a lot, right? So for instance, I need to actually do the leaping before I look over and over and over again. So if you've got burned 20 times in your life, but you succeeded 30 times in it, your frame of reference says you were successful. My frame of reference saying that if I jump and I don't look what's around me, it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. So if I've done it 5 times out of my life and 5 times out of 5, it's burnt me and I haven't learned from something, I'm not going to do it. So the only way I need to be able to get better at that is to be able to actually keep on doing it, keep on getting hurt and building my frame of reference where I get a couple of successes underneath my belt so I could see the actual, the actual outcome of the situation being positive, as opposed to, so the reason why I don't do that is I just immediately associate pain, loss of time, pain, rejection, all those things. It's the reason why I don't do it. It's the reason why I look for certainty, because I'm like, my frame of reference says figure out everything else out before you jump. So in order for me to solve that, and this is me being analytical, in order for me to solve that, it's real simple. I need to jump and expect to get hurt every single time. It's like going to a bar and expecting to get 5 no's from a girl because you just want to get the nose out, right? I need to get the nose out. I need to go and get hurt and get hurt and get hurt. Well, I've noticed that since my time is very valuable, and this is one of the things that I said I need to work on, I'm really good at coming up with logical excuses of why things don't work. Since my time is valuable, I always look for the sure thing because I don't want to waste my time, right? Because if I'm working 78 hours a week at Chili's, I don't want to waste my time on something and just jump into something, right? So with that said, I got to get better at my excuses. You're absolutely right, 100%. I need to be able to embrace scenarios that are better, and maybe don't look before I leap. Take a chance every once in a while.
I just think you would be surprised that if you left, because you are so smart, where if you did it, you'd actually be in a better landing spot than you even think. And yeah, your frame of reference does tell you whatever it tells you right now. But like, same thing with me. Like, dude, I did Metaluca and Ambit Energy, right? Those were leaping without looking. A great guy, John Cunningham, not really great business. Now this one that's helping support you and helping work with you and everything, right? And everything and what it has. You were more certainty driven. You looked at all those and said, forget it. You were more certainty driven. You saved time by doing it. But I built up so many skills of those other businesses of like trying to, hire on people or recruit people with that I already have years of knowledge. This is what makes me kind of a really good coach, because I've left so much and I've failed so much. I already know, don't do that. Do this. This works. You know what I mean? So that's why, like even having a software company that coders and stealing it and servers and all this stuff, like I literally leap, but I have so much knowledge that I know will save people money and can make people money because of what I've done, because I've taken 10x action. You know what I mean? So that's how, like, when people be like, man, how can you be a coach? I get it a lot now lately. And then I just say, hey, man, dude, one of the kids is going to make 8K this month that I've coached. Like, that's a great feeling, dude, I don't think I'm going to make it with that window.
100%.
Leanne Tenati had her first listing, sold it. She's going to make about I don't think I'm telling anybody. She's going to make more than like 3 of my window sales. Let's say that. More than 1 week's of my check for her commission on that. And good for her, I told her, I was like, I got to go to the window sales business. Speaking of which, change. Let's talk about this, changing your job. So me who leads without looking, Grant Cardone, we left the 10x growth.
Hold on a second.
Oh yeah, what do I need to change? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's not get away from that.
I wasn't trying to, by the way. Don't be.
No, I'm not saying that you are. I think for you, there's really what it comes down to it is either you want to change or you don't want to change. some people, they don't want to change. They're just like, they're so open to like, they're not so open. They're so closed-minded on whatever it is that they want to do that they don't actually, again, it comes down from changed frame of reference. So if I gave you two things that I thought you should work on, to you, you might go, you know,
I don't know, not from you though. I think I would take it from you. Give me one thing to work on right now.
okay, so this is one thing that I need to get better on, and I'm getting better at it every single day. And for me, since I have not been good at it, it's been causing a lot of chaos and stress in my life. But if I figured that if I were able to fix this, it would actually able to get my life better. And I'm going to say it, and you're going to be like, oh, I already do that. So take this for what it is. But organization is a huge thing. And for me, I was not organized. I was missing appointments. I was missing, different things at my other day job, or at Ashley, my fiance, is telling me like, hey, we're doing this. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I can't do that later on tonight, And I think a lot of times you would send me text messages and I'd be like, yeah, I would commit to something. And then I'd be like, oh no, I got a date night, and that's because I wasn't.
That did happen a lot.
Yeah. It was because I wasn't organized, and I think you and I both struggle with that a little bit. So I think getting organized, and I know you already do it and you have a system that works well for that. I think it translates into a lot of different things. Like for me, it's put your thoughts down in just one place. This is for me. I'm not talking about you.
This is good though.
Don't write it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, don't have scraps and pieces of paper everywhere. You start to look insane that way. I used to do that at work all the time. I have all these like it's on a piece of paper over here. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I look like a mad genius. And of course I'm calling myself the mad genius, but everyone else is just saying he's mad, So for me,
can I tell you something though? And this is maybe the thing, like Albert Einstein or whatever, that we can talk about people. As long as they produce results, however they got there, like some of the greatest geniuses had like the clutteriest desk. Like you look at like some of the stuff. So I don't think there's a correlation of like what it is. I think for your sanity, I think it's better to be organized. I know today I spent time because I have so many window leads, getting 3 other folders, cleaned them all out, put hot, medium, might sell in it, got very clear of who I could call back, and I felt 10 times better, right? Because it just was easier to do. I went, asked Leanne for 3 folders, got the colors, boom, did that, right? Then I want to do the van part too. So I always, maybe I'll push it to a point where I'll get so busy. Actually, Brian Cram's call on the 10X Mentorship Group and Jared's call did the same thing. One thing that helped anybody here, just so we're not just like both rambling on, putting stuff in your calendar right away. Like literally just pick a calendar to put it into, like this right here, like this was KP with Marley, and just put it in here and fill as much blank space. Will keep your mind organized, your time organized, and then it'll correlate to like, because I had that organized, I had a free block. I went and organized my stuff. So that's really helped me be transitional because I control my time first. So now I have time, then I have time to organize my stuff. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Yeah. And then I think the second thing would just be, which is something I mentioned that I think I need to work on too as well. And that is, you and I are both really good at making excuses of why we shouldn't do things. And what I mean by that is what you said before. You won't become a better speller because you think it's cool not to be a better speller, right? Or
yeah, I mean, I kind of almost want to give hope to like the kid who's not a good speller that if I can do it, he can do it. Maybe that's just a story I'm telling myself because I'm just too lazy to be a better speller.
It's exactly it, dude. That's exactly it. And I'll tell you why, because it's the exact same thing that I do. It's you built in this excuse that sounds cool to you so you can justify it. And then that's not just for you. That's for the other people. That's for when people call you out on it. You have this story built up, because I know I do it too, and go, oh, well, yeah, I know this. And you might for me, I create the scenarios in my head. So when somebody gives me the objection, I can already have that story. I'm locked and loaded, right? I'm ready. I can do it. And I'm like, I've been thinking a lot lately because I listen to Extreme Ownership. I'm like, it takes so much time to think of this story in my head, right? Of like why I'm at that position that I'm at, why I'm still in Chili's. Why don't I just say it to myself? Why don't I just be open and honest? Yeah, I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I haven't worked hard enough. I have not worked hard enough. If I really, really wanted to get out of the job current situation I am, I haven't worked at it hard enough. It's my fault. It's all my fault. And I think that's something that I think you and I are both really good at doing. We're good at like creating scenarios where we have that rebuttal ready when it would just be a lot easier.
Because, you know, so Candace Owens, who I love, she does stuff about Black America, and I think she is probably the best thing in English. She says some controversial stuff. She talks about common sense theory, right? And Elon Musk talks about this. These are people I listen to, that they say, take your emotion out of it and think of like logic, right? Like not because someone's telling you something or a story you're telling yourself, but actual like logic reason. And literally logically, it's better to be a better speller. Like there's no thing. Like as I'm saying it, when I'm saying that story, I'm telling myself, well, it'll help somebody else. Listen, if I really am always going to inspire others always anyway, I can inspire others always being a good speller. You know, I mean, that's common sense. There's no, it's just me making an excuse for laziness. So I make it a vow to try and be a better speller. The one person that really, it was Anthony, the Cowboy fan. He used to drink Bud Lights, be very negative to me, kind of talked in my dreams when we used to go to Fireplace when I first told him I was going to do all this stuff. And the bartender was like, don't listen to him. He's mean. And he used to shout out all the time, misspelling. Oh, my God, you're horrible misspelling. So I started misspelling words on purpose to him. And then when people bought $250 for a coaching session, I sent it to him. I said, I guess they didn't care about misspelling because, like, he was making me mad. He was tearing me down, that whole thing. And that I really, right now, I still feel like, yeah, you know? But, like, then a better person comes along, Sylvia, who I don't like, and that's another thing too. I always say I don't care what people have for degrees because I take it for them, and I really do think that's true. But then I'm like, am I making that excuse because like, you know, I don't have the doctor's degree and anything like that to say it that way? But I think as an entrepreneur, I just want to hire people with degrees that are really smart. I'll sell the vision. I'm really good at money. I just don't want to be like Donald Trump, where like he's made a lot of money, he's done a lot of good change. And whatever people want to believe about him, he's done some sort of change in his whole life that he's not proved wrong because he's just won so long. He like nobody can tell him anyway because I win. I can do whatever I want. He can tweet and misspell. You know what I mean? And like part of me just looks at him as like another person. Like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it that way, and that's bad. That's the other thing.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So let me tell you a story real quick. Very, very similar to that story that you just told about Anthony and the spelling. So when I first got to Danbury and it was a hellhole and there were so many bad cooks there and I was trying to figure it out. We had this one cook, he worked every single weekend and he thought he was the best. He was very arrogant. And he was a pretty good cook. But as cooks like to do, now I'm the general manager there. He goes, come here, I want to talk to you. Like he's got something to talk to me about. And he goes, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to be cleaning up my station anymore. I go, excuse me? He goes, I'm not going to be cleaning up my station anymore. So these guys, they don't do it at night. So if they don't do it at night, I'm not going to be doing it anymore either. And he goes, and that's your fault. And I was like, you're right. It is my fault. Absolutely. It is my fault that they're not doing it late at night. And I was like, let me tell you something, Jay. You're really good at what you do, very good at what you do. And unfortunately, what I see right now is you're letting other people who are not as good as you pull you down to their level. You're better than that because now you're letting them influence you. And now they have influenced you. And now you used to be good. And now you're not good anymore because they just pulled you down to their level and you let them pull them down to your level. Don't do that. You're better than that. And I told him that. And he was like, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah. And one of the things we tend to do is in a situation like that, it's listen, sometimes the delivery messenger is an asshole. Excuse my French, but they are. And we don't want to listen to them. And if you're just going to continue misspelling things, well, then they win. They let you pull you. They pulled you down further, and you didn't get better. I know you're saying you could still succeed at something by still doing this, and trust me, I have a little bit of that too. I don't have a college degree, right? I didn't graduate from high school, so I can
speak, dude. Nobody would know that the way you speak. You speak like everybody talks about how well you speak in a common collective, and I like trying you a little bit more that way and distinguish for everything. Like I'm trying right now, like you can hear that. But at the end of the day, dude, I think, people kind of like I've gotten so much by being myself. So I want to be a better version of myself all the time. But yeah, I mean, I guess here's the thing. I just listen to people. I think everybody does this. They listen to people that they value their opinion from, or someone they want to be like, right? Someone who's ahead of them. Like that's how I've gotten where I'm at. Like Grant Cardone, he's not the best speller. You know what I mean? But he's ahead of me. So I listen to him. You know what I mean? I look at him and maybe I shouldn't be so fixated on one character and the way he does it, and then learn like, hey, it's okay to be a good speller. I don't need to, like, he self-publishes books. So I'm like, I'm going to self-publish it. I don't need a publisher. I had that attitude when I didn't like the publisher that spoke to me and said, wow, we can make this book a best hitter. Your story is going to sell you millions. And I got ticked off, I was like, no, screw you. I'll go sell it myself,
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's your life. You do which way works well for you.
No. But listen. This is not because I don't think that's a growth-minded thing, right? It's your life. Do whatever works well for you. No, I can do whatever works well to better you in life. You know what I mean? Kind of in a way, like.
Oh, I'm with you. Trust me, dude. I'm with you. I think that. I think that too as well. For me, I think growth is a journey that never ends. And I usually just, when I say that, like, hey, listen, it's your life. You can do whatever you want to do. I usually tell people that because I never want to force something on somebody else. And I think one of the hardest things for us to do is it's easier to learn from somebody who's very successful, but it's harder to learn from somebody who tells us the truth and is not successful, because it's easier for us to just write that person off. So when I went into Danbury and I had people who were convicted felons telling me how bad the restaurant was and how bad of a leader I was, I didn't want to listen to them. I could write them off because they weren't where I was. Technically in the hierarchy, I was above them, but they were right. And it's hard. Nobody wants to do that. They'd rather listen to constructive criticism from somebody who's doing better than from somebody who's doing worse. And I think the real measure of someone is being able to look like, and I struggle with it all the time, is looking to learn from anybody, no matter what. So whether that person is on the lowest level of the hierarchy or they're on the highest level on the hierarchy of learning, saying, listen, I can learn from the lowest person, and I can learn from the middle person, and I can learn something from, the person on the highest level of the hierarchy. It might not be everything. I can't learn everything from the lowest person. I can't learn everything from the highest person, but I can take a collective source of information and learn from all the different people. But I think a lot of times based on our own egos.
How do you know it's the truth then? Like, because I think I know how, because like when it hurts, I think it's the truth, man. Like when Jackie told me, like, 100%, I listened to Jackie when that whole thing happened, and she really called me out for who I was and realized, man, I'm not all that. I can get better. The truth hurt. Jackie wasn't successful. She was kind of cheating on her boyfriend with me, right? That's not someone you want to listen to. But like, yeah, I got her opinion, but it was also the truth. I saw it. It clicked, right? And then same thing, like even tonight, like I think like that's when pain happens, change happens, right? All the time, right? I think that's when people like quit. Like, what do you think it takes for people to quit their jobs? They have a nice, secure job. Like, it took me forever to quit teaching, to go work 1099 for JC Tenati, to then go build my own business, to now go doing this thing, right? To build a software. Like and the first jump was you remember how long it took me to quit teaching? Like, and it was because I was connected to kids too. I cried on this day out, you
Oh,
know?
right. Yeah, I remember like you talked, I don't want to say you talked this big game, but you were like, yeah, whatever. But when it came time for you to quit, I was like, you haven't quit already? Like, I can't believe you haven't quit. And you eventually did, and it made sense that you quit. You know, it made sense that you weren't,
Well,
you
because
know.
at that time I tried to do a photography business. I tried to do businesses. I knew how to bid the job. I knew stuff, but I didn't know profit and loss. I didn't know anything like that. I did. I just didn't know. I didn't know how to. I didn't know you. I didn't feel good selling more than what I was worth, right?
Right.
Because really, what I had was I had poor self worth. Like now, dude. Like I tell Dad all the time. I told Alex Warren, I'm gonna get someone's gonna book me. You know, whatever. Five. I think I said $4,000 for a coaching session. And Dad was like, "Oh my God!" And Alex Warren's
You know
like,
what you're insanely good at, dude? And I think it's from maybe watching Grant Cardone or whatever it is, or I don't know. All you do is market. Like your name is marketing, jeffjcunningham.com, inspire others always. And then when you talk, you'll put in like a couple of good nuggets, and then you'll just plug yourself. And it's really good. You're really, really good at it. I got to get better at it.
well, because here's the thing. I believe that anybody around me, right, or us, I believe with changing lives with the thing, and I'll show it to you, will benefit from it. So if you believe so strongly in that, you want to tell everybody about it. Like Jason Tanati, I believe we have the best windows right now, right? So when I'm out at someone's thing and they're eating their dinner, I feel compelled. Hey, if you're in your windows, just check us, man, because I actually believe in that. So it's transferring the belief in that, and that's kind of what it is. And yeah, 100%. It's in Cardone U. Dude, I've done a lot of Cardone U. He says all the time, be telling what you're doing, giving value, and always telling people where to find you. Always give them a call to action, right? You should always wear your brand, always wear what you're at. You know, Grant said this all the time. A lot of it is Grant training, 100%, you know,
So I think next week maybe we should talk about marketing then, because that's something I definitely need to get better at. And maybe shatter some of the beliefs. Like some people think like that's a horrible way to do things, you know, like you shouldn't always be marketing. You shouldn't always be like, you know.
But speaking of marketing, I want to market one thing. And there was something I teased at the end. Like that was a way to market. I said it. Oh, the list. This is another thing. Maybe I should change this. I was going to build a list. I'm still going to do it, but I was going to sell it online for $10. I thought it was just funny. I know some girls would buy it. It would be an easy buy. But that's kind of douchey to sell a list of. If you want to be with me, buy it, right?
Oh yeah, Tucker Max did that.
Oh yeah, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, then that makes me not want to do it.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you that.
Yeah, good. All right, so it's nothing. So should I even put it out for free then?
Of what you're looking for in a girl?
Just keep it to myself.
Listen, dude, you're you. So you do whatever you think is going to work out better for you.
Well,
but
we'll
also
have people post in the comment whether I should post it or keep it to myself. I won't sell it.
All right,
I'll sell a lot of this.
I'll give you the best advice that I know currently right now. This woman you eventually meet and you want to spend time with, I know right now it doesn't mean anything to you, but will she be a fan of what you're doing? Will she like what you're doing? Will she?
Yeah.
And would you want it done to you? Put it that way.
Yeah. So if I found a girl selling a list of what she wants in a guy, if I like the girl, I buy the list. You know, like that's just me though. And that's not. I'm serious. Like I was.
No, I disagree, and I don't want to say I disagree because I'll always agree. But like, think about it. Think of yourself. Think if you had Natalia or somebody. I don't even mean name exes, but I had an ex. And they were doing something like that with you. It wouldn't bother you. I think it would bother you. I know you want to say
my ex was selling a list
that you were dating at the time.
Natalia, the girl was and it had a list out for sale. Oh yeah, if I was dating her and she had a list for sale, yeah. She didn't take that list off the market, yeah, we'd have problems, you know?
Well, no, I'm not even just saying that, but you found out that they had a list.
Yeah, dude, jealousy. One day we'll do a thing about jealousy. I get jealous over like a fruit fly goes on her. I'm like, man, that fruit fly wants you. Look how close he is. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. That's why I said, like,
so yeah, 100% I would be mad. Oh, dude, I get mad about the weirdest things in the world. I'm like, oh, a guy wants it. Like, and then I like to date Spanish girls who they dress like hello, and it's like, yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Did we talk
So,
anything about change or
yeah.
no?
So,
You want to talk about a list too?
no, not a list. Well, we talked about the list. So the list is solved. There's no list. There's no list. I'm gonna write a list, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. If anybody wants to see it, they can see it by winning me over on a date. How's that sound? That's good, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
And dude, I'm not gonna make the list. Just so you know, what I was gonna make the list. This is what I wanted to do. I was gonna make this. It wasn't gonna have any physical features. It was gonna be all. I want them to be supportive, like everything that I haven't looked for. Challenging a girl, fight.
That's what I did. Yeah,
I know you have it. You're getting engaged and married.
yes, but I was vocal about it. I really was.
Right now in a loft? Are you in a loft right now?
No, I'm in. It's a room,
Okay. Right.
but it's the spare bedroom, and it's just Ashley's in the next room. Her mom's downstairs. It's
Make me host really quick. I want to show you something. This is the marketing thing. If I can get it up. Let me see. So what I was gonna say, if you guys want whatever topic you'd like to hear us talk about. So next week we'll do marketing. Maybe one day we'll do leads too. Actually, now you made it, and I gotta make sure I can get this up there. So I've been helping going through the emails. I always do this. Here we go. So this actually clicked with me today, so I want to show it to everybody because I'm very money conscious. And my guy, Rob Weinberg, my finance guy, he did a podcast. Did you listen to that podcast with Rob Weinberg, the Jewish dude?
the one you did a long time ago?
No, not the one I did. I never even released the one we do with them. But the one, Banking on Yourself, he's going to be on the Make More Money podcast. There's another plug.
Yeah,
But he will. But it's great, dude. He did I sent it to you on Spotify. Bank on Yourself. I also sent it to Jeff.
Oh, yeah, I don't have Spotify. I clicked on it. Won't let me
search on YouTube. Search Connecticut Real Estate Edge. The episode Bank on Yourself is going to talk about what I'm talking about now. I'm going to plug for my buddy Rob Weinberg. If you guys need mortgages, go with him too. If you're in Connecticut, latest Connecticut. If not, go with Nations Lending with Mike C-Rock. It's your boy C-Rock versus his hat.
All right, so you just get into what you were doing.
I like this hat. It is my favorite. I like it better than my hat. It's just a cool hat. So share screen. So he did an episode Bank on Your Felt. I think I told you this. This made me really excited about it. So with this though, well, that's how you get there. Oh, that's the door. I don't think that's that dude's door, man. Oh, dude, I gotta be up at 8 a.m. to sell doors. Let me go back into this. All right.
Me too.
I actually understood this, but you have to be up at 8 a.m.
Yeah, but I'm going to the beach, so don't worry about that.
Oh, I don't think this is the actual one I wanted to show. But have you seen this?
Yeah, I sent this.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I sent it a long time ago.
So there's one, mutual funds, 401ks, IRAs. They have one with Roth IRAs, which is
I know that's the one. That's the one I sent you.
Oh, okay, let's see if this is it. So
did Mandy show this to you?
Yeah, so she did. She said this is the one, right?
Yep.
So this is awesome. So anybody who has money in any 401k, this is why I was always against. I have money in the 401k, I'm going to move it out, and this is the reason why. So this is your traditional 401k. This is core knowledge that we haven't learned. If you want to hear more about it, contact me or Josh. We'll send you through something. This is what I'm changinglivesfinancial.com is bought. We're going to teach more of this stuff in here. But the traditional 401k or 401(b) and IRAs you get here, when you get money left after tax at the end, this is like 304. Then they take out the tax. You only come 212 by that time, right? Then listen to this. Roth IRA is so much better because they go Roth IRA. That's it. And it is. It's definitely more educated. You can feed it about $6,000 and everything. But when you get over here, yeah, they don't take any tax out because of how it is. That's why it's better, right? But then what the IUL does, so Rob Weinberg has 3 of these. He got one when he was 22. So if anybody's 22 right now and you want to be smart with money, and you want to start funding it when you're 22, you look at years. He already has one that's at 7 figures. He bought off one of his houses with it, borrowed against it. But let's say you don't even touch it, you borrow against it. Then all of a sudden it grows. This is at the same $100,000 all the way through. It grows. Look at how much more money that is. And even over the time, if you want to borrow against it sooner, go into year to 21, right? Or even if you go even up to here. I mean, it doesn't always work that way, but let's say go into year 9, all of a sudden you have 219 and 146 everywhere with the same amount of money in it, right? It's actually built up so solid. It's really
so yeah, this is a great chart, and this explains that the basic way to explain this is you got 3 people. One who has a traditional 401k, one has a Roth IRA, and then somebody has an index universal life, an IUL. And they all put $100,000. And at the end of year 1997 is when they put it in. And at 2020 is what they would have currently. What the red boxes are for is when the market lost. So if you look at 2008, that's when the market lost 38%, right? That was the big housing bubble and the crash. So if you look at the first column, Roth, the 401k had 151,000 at the account, and then they were back down to 93,000. Same thing with the Roth 401k. Now in this index universal life, you can structure plans to be different. And this one's structured whenever there's a loss in the market, that there's a 1% loss in the market. Some there's no loss, but this one is the ceiling's 25% and the floor is 0%. But whenever there's a loss, they charge you a 1% fee. And that's so you can get those guaranteed 25% gains. They charge that 1%. So you lost, let's see, you lost 224, you're at 224, you went down to 222,000. Well, other people lost 60 grand. So these losses add up. They hurt more than we think they do. And accumulative at the end of that 20 year, you got somebody who's put in $100,000 and they're cashing out with 150 in a 401k. At 20 years, they only made 50 grand. For Roth, they made 300. They're at 304, and then somebody with an IUL, dude, they're cashing out $717,000. They made $600,000. And
if you look at the money during the time, you can borrow against this, where you can't borrow against these.
Correct. Yeah.
You can, but for a bigger fee than what you can do here, which I got to figure out exactly the fees for. So, dude, this is it's pretty much life-changing for anybody who's kind of young. Like older people, it doesn't really maybe make sense to do it because they can't open it up. But there's other ways to move the money for them too. This is awesome because even the knowledge, no matter where this goes, learning this knowledge is cool. I wish I knew it sooner,
So do I, man.
It makes me want to tell the world about it. I went around, dude. I was waiting on a car on takeout. And I asked the dude, he's driving a Beamer. I go, hey, do you know what IUL is? I was like, no, and we just started talking,
That's awesome. That's the thing to do.
He was too young to sell Windows. Now I have a product that was like, you don't want to be the guy who sells you anything. Yeah. If you're old and that, I'll sell you Windows. If you're young and you have real estate, I'll sell you an IUL. I'm going to show this to Nick, one of the kids I'm coaching next too as well. Actually, I think I'm going to show this to everybody I'm coaching just because it's a way to make people more money, And my goal is to make more money.
I want to tell the world about IULs. They're awesome.
And not even just that. There's like more strategies you can use as well too. Like
correct. And the IULs need to be set up the right way. Some people are like, oh, I heard about that they're not good. If they're not good, then somebody set it up wrong for you. And that's one of the cool things about us is we're not setting up to get a commission. We're setting up to be right for the client, which I love doing. It's such an awesome
video by Doug Williams about taking money out of your 401k now with no penalty.
Doug Williams?
Yeah, I think that's
Doug Andrews, you mean?
Doug Andrews, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Doug Williams is a quarterback, actually, so it shows you I have the football mind.
Dude,
but
there you go.
Yeah, we got to go. Hey, this has been good. So change is inevitable. So, hey, if you want to change your 401k, contact us. If you want to change your job, contact me for coaching or Josh too, exactly, right? You want to change?
Yeah, we're looking for great people. So
yeah, I'm actually we're switching with the whole packages on jeffscoaching.com. We're gonna be switching them to month 1 you get this, month 2 you get this, month 3, and I'm coming out with the debt elimination thing that was worked for a client that lost 16 grand in 6. So this is me marketing again, right? But I won't want people to have debt too. And I think we have an avenue we can do this too. So just very passionate about money, helping people make money, and helping their money work for me. You know.
Yeah. All right. What else you want to add? Anything else?
We're gonna vlog soon about our Amazon Prime show we're gonna be on. And have you worked on any of that while you've been on vacation where you are?
Mentally in my head, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Are you excited? Are you nervous about the Amazon Prime show?
Oh, a little bit of both.
Yeah, good. It'll be awesome. As long as Corona, ain't no virus gonna stop us. Grant Cardone cash flow right there. All right, so we're coming Amazon Prime. Speak Up, I think it's called, right?
Yes.
So we just announced that. Guys, check it out. You're gonna see us. This is the year 2020 is such a weird year because this is the year that you're gonna see more of JeffJCunningham.com and Josh Lewis growth.com. So that's it. So next week we'll talk marketing, and maybe one day we'll talk leads. I'll put some of my best lead stuff in there too. That's going to be in my course coming up as well too.
Awesome. All right, man. Thank you so much. Listen, the last thing I want to say is, Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. It's true. But the only way that you can be that change is if you make the decision to change. So however good you think you are, you can get better. And I'm going to get better every single day. So have a great night.
Be the change you want to see in yourself, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. That's it. All right. Have a great night, guys.